Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akakwadash, and the monarchy apostles and elders of Great Muslim. Salutations to the hopeful elect. This is a brother, I'm Allah from GMS Chicago, and coming back with you with another lesson. Alright, and basically, everybody knows this by now, alright. They basically took Maduro out of Venezuela, alright, and now things are heating up, alright, up until this point. But nonetheless, here's some recent news right here. It says Trump demands Venezuela kick out China and Russia, partner only with U.S. on oil exclusive, alright, and I'm gonna just play this video.
Has declared we're in charge of Venezuela, that the U.S. is in charge. And at this hour, while we're on the air here, America's top general, Secretary Hegseth and Secretary Rubio, all briefing lawmakers about the U.S. military operation in Venezuela. Some lawmakers demanding to know why Congress was not informed. And tonight, President Trump's new threat of possible military action involving Colombia, Cuba, Mexico, and saying the U.S. wants Greenland. Rachel Scott at the White House tonight.
But yeah, you can see that fits with the scripture, right? That this devil Esau, he cannot keep to himself. He can't. He basically can't keep to himself, right? He wants to put his hand in other people's business, right? Well, let's go ahead and bring that out, right? Because hey, right now what you're seeing is a prophecy being made manifested, right? You're seeing the wars and rumors of wars, and this right here, what just happened recently, will only escalate up until the third World War, which we're currently in, but we're not nuclear just yet, all right? We're not going nuclear, ICBM nuclear just yet, but it's getting to that point, all right? But yeah, I'm gonna start with Habakkuk 2, and this started one. I was set upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And that's what we're set up here to do. All right, standing upon the watchtower. I mean, yeah, linking the scriptures with the prophecies that you're seeing being made manifested right before your very eyes when you turn on the news. All right, you got these world events that are occurring. These earthquakes, these pestilences, these wars, of rumors of wars, these famines in diverse places. All right, all that is spoken in the scriptures. All right, it's prophecy. Verse 3: For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but the end shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's right. These prophecies are no longer tarrying. All right. You're seeing that Esau is making major moves, including, implementing the RFID microchip real soon. And you can see that. You go into the grocery store, you see self-checkout lines and shit. All right. They got facial recognition cameras. They're about to set up 6G. All right. All that is going to be leading up into the ushering in of the MOTB, Revelations 13 and 16, the new way of buying and selling by the way of the RFID microchip, by that device being implanted underneath your skin. Alright? Verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And that's right, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Alright? Esau is a proud man, alright? Esau is real proud. Alright, what you just saw here is Esau doing a proud move. Right, basically taking over Venezuela and controlling their, basically having their oil and controlling the rare earth minerals. Alright, and a lot of people say that they're doing this just for the oil. Alright, they're just there to take Venezuela's oil. Alright, but there's another reason too, right? Go ahead and look at this post of what Elon Musk said of last year. It says Latin America is not our raw material. Also, like Latin America is our raw material storehouse. I mean, right now we don't need their cheap labor. The time has come when robots and AI are inevitable, starting to replace them. We only need their minerals, especially lithium and rare earth elements. Even their oil will eventually lose its strategic importance. With the complete electrification of this country's vehicle fleet, the population of South America will have no other option but to generally dedicate themselves to selling tamales and tacos to survive. The workforce in those countries will be replaced by our robots produced in our factories, which, of course, don't need to be provided with social benefits. And yeah, it's what Esau ultimately wants to be done. All right, they took over Venezuela. Now they're going to be controlling the oil, but mainly the rare earth minerals. All right, and what they need that because they need that because they gotta create these new AI developments and shit. All right. They gotta get rolling with their Agenda 2030 by replacing humans with AI, replacing humans with robots. All right. But yeah, this is what basically what Esau is doing right now. All right. Then I'm gonna play another video.
What the f are you looking at?
Oh shit.
Chipmunk face.
Friendly reminder, this is who the USA and Israel want to replace Maduro, the president of Venezuela, with.
Maria Corina Machado, gracias. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch. And I promise one day we'll have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel. And I believe, and I can announce this, that our government will move our Israeli embassy to Jerusalem. That will be part of our support to the state of Israel.
They gave that fucking bitch the Nobel Peace Prize. Seriously. I mean, there was also this fortuitous timing right after Maduro made this statement. Pam Bondi, the girl who lied about Epstein files and continues to protect pedos? Well, Pam Bondi put a $50 million hit on his head. Anyways, here we are on the gates of another war.
But
Thank you, and we'll stay in touch. And I promise one day we'll have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel. And I believe.
Well, you heard what she just said. We have a close relationship between Venezuela and Israel, and really, it's these elites, these Amalekites' interest into taking over that country and taking the resources, but mainly the raw minerals that they need. Right? Because Esau has an agenda to accomplish, right? To ultimately get the entire world RFID micro chipped, right?
Tonight, the nation's top military official who oversaw that extraordinary operation in Venezuela.
Is the U.S. now occupying Venezuela?
Arriving on Capitol Hill to brief lawmakers, alongside Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and other top administration officials.
Are U.S. troops being deployed to Venezuela, yes or no?
President Trump is adamant the U.S. is in charge of the country, even as Venezuela swore in Nicolas Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, as interim leader.
We're dealing with the people. We're dealing with the people that just got sworn in. And don't ask me who's in charge, because I'll give you an answer and it'll be very controversial.
What does that mean?
We're in charge.
Have you spoken with her?
We're in charge.
But hours earlier, his own Secretary of State attempted to dial back the role the U.S. will play in Venezuela, saying the administration is trying to influence policy with a blockade on oil leaving the country. With world leaders condemning the U.S., the president signaling he could pursue military action beyond Venezuela, with 15,000 U.S. service members now in the region.
Colombia is very sick, too, run by a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, and he's not going to be doing it very long, let me tell you.
What does that mean? He's not going to be doing it very long.
He's not doing it very long. He has cocaine mills and cocaine factories. He's not going to be doing it very long. So
there will be an operation by the U.S.
It sounds good to me.
Colombia's president's indicating he's ready to take up arms. In addition to Colombia, President Trump says he could target Cuba and Mexico and make Greenland part of the United States. The Danish Prime Minister are...
Well, you know, there you have it.
And David, tonight, top lawmakers over on Capitol Hill are receiving their first classified briefing about this military operation, many demanding to know why they were not...
You know, I believe that Venezuela is actually part of the BRICS nations, alright, because, you know, they also have, you know, they obviously had ties with China and Russia and Iran. You know, they'd be selling the oil to them, alright, but now the U.S. has cut that off, alright, now, you know, eventually China, Iran, Russia, you know, the BRICS nations, even NATO, right? Because now Trump is even, you know, threatening to take over Greenland, right? Which will, you know, break ties with the U.S. and NATO, right? But eventually these nations are going to come up against Babylon the Great, which is America, all right? And you can see that America is the main problem, right? America is the main problem causing these, you know, starting these wars and tensions between these other nations and shit, and going into each other's countries, and, you know, to these countries and taking and stealing the resources by using their sword. All right, is what they use, you know, democracy. But yeah, I mean, shit's getting intense. All right, shit is getting intense. I haven't. Well, I'm gonna just read the scriptures and not. But it says, Slovakia. But it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right? And yeah, you know, that wine is basically going into, you know, Esau's democracy, right? His pride and shit. And you know, you look at Esau, right, he's not keeping himself at home. Right? He's putting himself in other people's business. He's using his sword and taking other nations' resources and threatening them. Right? It says, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. And that's right. You know, America is just... one big melting pot, alright, with all kinds of different nations that are mingled together and shit, alright. You know, Esau gathereth all nations and heapeth unto him all people, alright, as what it says. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay. And that's right. You know, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. You see, Esau, he's stealing other nations' resources and shit. Alright? And what, you know, now Esau's in, you know, thick clay. You look at the U.S. national debt, and it's going up dramatically. Right? America is laden with debt, heavy debt. But hey, you know, the things that Esau is doing right now, alright, he's basically stirring up, you know, World War III, right? But it says, Michael 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And that's right. This is what Esau does. All right, because it's in the power of their hands. They have the sword. They're blessed with the sword. All right, they covet fields and take them by violence. They go into other countries and take them by violence by using the sword. All right, by using his democracy, his unrighteous decrees and shit that he implements, that he doesn't even follow himself. But yeah, these nations, all right, these small nations, all right, that are once looked at as small, all right, they're strong now. All right, they got nuclear capabilities too. All right, they're seeing that the main people that are causing the world problems is Esau, the so-called white man. All right, he's causing he's starting these wars. He's causing the problems. All right, he's starting up tensions and shit. All right. Everybody's looking at America as the main problem, all right, for the problems that we have in this world right now. And hey, I'm gonna read Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, "The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?" It's speaking about Esau, right? Thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou dost set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. And you see Esau, he's exalting himself as the eagle. All right, he's a proud man. All right, he's that little horn is speaking greatly of himself. God damn, Esau. All right, Esau is, really starting up these wars. You can see that, right? And well, Trump has already threatened Colombia, Cuba, Greenland, right? I think Canada, Mexico, all right? And then what, some of these countries are already, you know, how would I say? They're bucking up against America now, all right? You look at Colombia, right? They're saying that they're ready to bear arms up against America, that they dare to come and raid that place next. But I'm gonna do this. Yeah, Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also cut, because thou hast striven against the Lord. Yeah, that's right. Esau, he thinks he got like another 20, 15, 10, 5 years to rule. But no, you can see that the Lord is the Lord's words are faithful and true. All right, these prophecies are coming to pass, and well, we can see that. All right, we know that Esau's time is almost up. All right, because the prophecies are coming to pass. All right. And what, the Lord has put bounds that Esau that he cannot pass, right? Because so yeah, Esau has a time limit, all right? But nonetheless, hope this lesson was edifying, all right? I want to give all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Ba'Shem Rakakudash, and Shalom.